welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we'll continue front page review with the Punch major headline. Food crisis, military deploys troops in northwest, southwest farms. Farmers Association, Lord Tinubu said move would boost harvest and tackle insecurity. In other news, power tariff, ASU demands reversal. Varsity's bill jumps by 300%. EFCC detains NACON chair, recovers 314,998 Saudi riyal. Prices skyrocket as petrol scarcity bites harder. Marketers blame supply shortage. NNPC keeps mum. In other news, 149 Nigerians repatriated from Niger. Federal government inaugurates panel for Naira-based crude oil sale. Motorists lament traffic snarl as Julius Berger resumes work on Lagos, the Long Bridge, that's Lagos-Ibadan Expressway Long Bridge. And minor stabs kill 2 siblings remanded in Ekiti Juvenile home. Who has that story?
I do. The minor, he's a 12-year-old boy.
Oh my God.
And he stabbed 2 siblings and he's been remanded in a juvenile home. He has stabbed these brothers, one in the hand, the other in the shoulder. Anyway, he was brought to court. I took the story hoping it was taken from like the human interest angle, but it's really about the court proceedings. He's been taken to court, remanded in a juvenile home. The lawyer was asking if he could be please released on bail, and then the court also asked for adjournment so that he can, put their case together. It's really a sad story, all around. When you have a child like that commit something like this, this will involve just much more than remanding him in, a correctional facility. It would include this, yes. So it will include finding out where he's from, what circumstances he's growing up in at home, those sort of things. I just hope that, this, thankfully, nobody died, so that is good. But then I hope that this is resolved in such a manner that this boy also gets help. But thankfully, also the victims, nobody lost their lives and they get the treatment they need.
All right. Okay. So I have the Executive Chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Jalal Arabi, and the Commission's Secretary, Abdullahi Kontagora, are currently in the custody of the EFCC for the alleged mismanagement of 90 billion naira. You remember that last week we took this story whereby we took the story where they were remanded. The EFCC had invited some officials, and then they didn't appear, and EFCC came to arrest them, but then they met bail. So that's fantastic, right? But then, with the exception of the executive chairman, but right now, the executive chairman and the commission secretary have both been apprehended, and this is because over 314 Saudi riyal was recovered from them. The chairman and some of the officials, they overpaid themselves the stipulated amount they were supposed to take for the trip. The chairman was entitled to 15,929 Saudi riyal, but he got 50,000. 3 commissioners who were meant to take 15,929 each received 40,000. And then the secretary got 30,000 instead of 14,336. They overpaid themselves, right? And then the director and chief of staff received 30,000 instead of 12,550. Yes, that they were entitled to. So the anti-graft agency said that they grilled them for hours, and then they've recovered that money, and that a document which was signed by their correspondent revealed that over 8 million cash withdrawal out of the 90 billion released by the federal government to the commission is yet to be accounted for. That's a lot of money by NACON. So the investigation is still ongoing. At least now we see where the small money where it disappeared to. We need to know where the remaining has gone.
So I have the major headline excitedly. Of course, the federal government, the president is bent on tackling this 40.87% food inflation. So according to the Punch, the IG of police has announced that police will now patrol farms to boost farmers' confidence. Also, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General of the Army, Major General Edward Buba, has announced that troops will now be deployed to northwest and north central farms to prevent bandits from disturbing the farmers during this harvest season. And so they are to ensure that there will be bumper harvest. You know that this year the rate of the numbers of farmers killed across the country was 332 as compared to the previous year of 128. And so we cannot continue to risk, farmers being afraid of going to their farms. This, of course, will lead to scarcity of food, and they're doing everything possible to ensure that it is curbed. I like the news, and farmers, along with myself, like a farmer, were excited about it. I hope the results.
Emila, you're not a farmer. I mean, rice matcha.
Rice matcha.
I'm a farmer. I'm born by farmers. Farmers like me. My ancestors were farmers.
Let me take the story on power tariff. The ASU has demanded, that's the Academic Staff Union of University, have cried out against the huge price. So the way it affected all Nigerians when the price hike happened, it affected universities as well. The national president of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Osudeke, called for reversal because the bill, by 300%, all universities are complaining. They said that the bill has it has hit 21.480 billion naira monthly. In April alone, the NEC announced an increase of in April, there was an announcement of increase that cut across everybody. There was protest, there was complaints, but the universities now fall under Band A, like many Nigerians that found themselves in Band A. And they are having to account for this huge cost, passing it off to students, and the students who are protesting. So they are asking that if someone receives 14 hours of electricity, they naturally should pay more because they use more, but automatically charging them more because they fell under Band A is illogical. That's their own rationale, because they said they use, in some places, they are 14 hours. It's not like they have 23 hours or 24 hours like should be under Band A. So they are suggesting that the rate should be equitable for everyone. People will pay more because they consume more energy, not because of the arbitrary classification.
Thank you. I thought that was
the system should be fair to all Nigerians, charged solely based on actual electricity units consumed, whether in university, towns, or villages. Everybody should pay the same rate of energy. Exactly. So I think,
like, it has to be spelled out.
When they were protesting this hunger, we should have also highlighted power.
Exactly.
Very, very big.
You do not see it.
Because we are all feeling it. I'll be switching off AC in the middle of the night because of what? Please help us. So moving on to Daily Sun, major headline. Towards Ado-Ekiti Goba polls, INEC charges security agents to be ruthless during the election. I'm trying to understand what they meant by ruthless. Ganduje protesters carted away case file in Kano, the courts when the protest took place. So that's very interesting. Specifically, the Ganduje case file. Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea to sign agreement on petroleum resources and security. Ukraine advances deeper into Russia. Biggest foreign incursion since World War II. Fraudulent mobilization. UNICAL urges NYSC to release remaining names. Brothers bury siblings alive over missing phone in Zaria. Gaza war. Hamas suspends truce talk with Israel. Abbas bows to criticism, withdraws counter-subversion bill after Daily Sun's report. And Army vows to dislodge oil thieves in Niger Delta. So what story are we starting with? Is it the brother being buried alive or Army dislodging?
Other stories.
Okay, I didn't take the oil. I took oil theft.
Okay.
Okay, so troops of 6th Division Nigerian Army have declared their determination to sustain the tempo in fight against all saboteurs in the Niger Delta region. They said that this resolve is also manifesting in a number of illegal refining sites destroyed, arrests they have made, products confiscated by their security operatives. And they said that in order to maintain the momentum, what they will be doing is they'll be traversing the length and breadth of operational landscape with huge, they've been traversing, the length and breadth with huge successes recorded. The acting deputy director and the 6th Division Army Public Relations in Port Harcourt, Njuma Jonah Njuma, in a statement yesterday, said operations led to the destruction of over 27 newly established illegal refining sites and confiscation of over 100,000 liters of stolen crude in various operations conducted. They said that the troops of 29 Battalion, while exploiting deep into the fringes of notorious Imo River, a renowned hub of criminal activities, destroyed over 23 newly established illegal refining sites. There's so many other confiscation, refining sites. In fact, they said they had found vehicles loaded with illegally refined automotive gas oil stashed in GP tanks and sacks. Just so much more. Of course, because of time, I can't read everything, but so much more that they're doing, you know.
This is why we are not even
curb
able to meet our quota.
Yeah.
So the military is going to be protecting farms. They're going to be traversing up and down Niger Delta, you know, because we're sabotaging our economy ourselves. Yeah.
So two cousins decided that one of their cousins was a thief because they had a missing phone issue in Kaduna. They not only tied their cousin up, they tied his hands to his back, gagged his mouth, and buried him alive, only his head left up.
What?
And so they then put rags over his head and left him in an abandoned farm. He didn't die. He was fortunate not to have died, but they left him to die because the way they dug the hole
obviously,
and buried him with his hands backwards, sealed his mouth. You know, obviously they want him to stay there.
To be tortured
to death, yeah. So this is according to the Kaduna State Commissioner for Human Services and Social Development. She got the report because a passerby heard him cough. And, you know, in that place, they had left him to his fate. And the passerby heard him cough, rescued him, called the authorities in, and they've been arrested. In fact, one is 20 years, one is 17 years. That 20 years, I'll mention his name, Yahya Abdul Kadir. I will leave the underage because I'm sure that he was badly influenced. And they left him
both
to
20 and 17. They're both young people.
No, 20 is not young. We don't pass majority age. But they left him to die, and it's so sad. Fortunately,
full adults.
They'll
go to real prison.
Yeah, they're being interrogated.
Not juvenile.
Kaduna State government has assured that they will go to court.
Oh, they must.
Yes, they must. They must. Yeah, so I have the University of Calabar, UNICAL, has urged the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, to release names of the remaining 85 former students who indulged in fraudulent mobilization for the scheme. The people have mind, though. The registrar, Mr. Gabriel Egbe, said in a statement in Calabar that the institution uncovered the fraudulent act and alerted the NYSC. Unfortunately, they said that the NYSC took immediate action and then unmasked the remaining, and unmasked 93%. They took immediate action against 93%, but they are urging them to still unmask the remaining 85%. They also reported, when they did that, they also sent communication to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and established a full investigative committee. They also reported to the Federal Ministry of Education and National Universities Commission. He also said that none of the names involved in the scandal were found in universities' records as graduates, and that such names were never uploaded by any department into the NYSC portal. So that somebody, because they're trying to hold Mr. Obi Endurance, the person, the man that imputes data entry into the NYSC portal, because they're wondering how they found out that 11 different times there was unauthorized access into the NYSC portal that made this 178 people to have access to be part of the scheme. So this is good because if they have not graduated from school, they don't have certificates, they are forging certificates. How are they, you know, starting with the NYSC being part of it? That's wrong.
We really don't even have much time. I wanted to take the story of the Kano State, where Governor Yusuf alleged that, not alleged, Governor Yusuf is saying that the case file has been taken away from the court during the vandalism that took place.
Yeah, say Ganduje's file.
Yes, he said Ganduje's case file and every other person involved in the case they took it out of the court. Then he did a statement to say that he has urged the youth to desist from being used by distractors to engage in violence.
You don't have soft copy.
Because the case, I don't understand if it's only that copy.
This is Sakama and Joe.
Let me just take the major headline in Vanguard as we round off. Hurdles ahead of CNG vehicles rollout. I feel so bad about that because we've celebrated it so well that this is going to be a good way to reduce cost of living. Federal government zero duty grains import terminates December 31 from customs. We've taken action against Simon Ekpa, says secessionist activity. Finish, government says, and anger greets rep speakers withdrawal of counter subversion bill. We also have the outrage at Senator Sumaila says he earns 21 million naira monthly. Other Senate's mom.
Yeah.
That's
So the CNG is not a
Was
bad thing if
irresponsible.
they are hurdles. Hurdles just show us that, things need to be
Okay.
sorted out. But the story is basically that many mechanics don't even know what CNG is.
we said this now. When the man came, he explained
them,
that they
yes.
would have to train.
So they're saying that
There's
we're
a
about
gap.
to roll out, but obviously we
can't
don't have
roll
enough
out.
people that have been
Yes.
trained yet. That's it.
Wow. That's what we can take on front page review for today. When we return, we have a sponsored segment from Roland. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.